Good afternoon and welcome back to Houston Real Estate Today. I'm your host, Steve Levine, and my pleasure to be here each week. Great show today. Heidi Albrecht and Keller Williams Pearland talking about Brazoria County and Magnolia Bend. And if you missed that section of the show, you can tune in at our website, HoustonRealEstateToday.com, and watch the Google video, sponsored by Lasting Impressions and videotaped today by Marketing Dynamics. And I'm the guy in the purple shirt, in case you're not sure if you're watching the video. But Heidi did a great job. Glad to have her back. And now we turn our attention to Shivani Palaniappan, and she is with Intech. And Intech is a company that's been around since 1991, started in San Antonio by her father-in-law, and whose son's right here, but he's not going to be saying much today. But he is listening in and checking every word that Shivani says. And Intech's a great company. They provide services in the geotechnical and environmental engineering and construction materials testing and environmental site assessments. And we're going to learn about soil testing and why it's so important to you when you build a home or someone's building a home for you. And that question of why can't I just use soil from my neighbor's house? That's something I want to know. But Shivani is born and raised in Houston, Texas, graduated from UH in 2006 with a BA in English, and has been with Intech since 2003. And she's really the genius behind the operation. Her father-in-law started it, but she's really the director of operations. And I think Chuck is more than pleased to let her have that title and have her on the show today. Shivani, what a pleasure to have you guys on the show today.
Thank you, Steve. It's a pleasure to be here.
And we're going to talk about soil testing, which is a new subject on this show. I don't know, 28 weeks. We haven't talked about it yet, but it's really important when you're going to when you're building a house or having somebody else build, to make sure that it's been tested properly, to make sure that it will hold your house, because some people don't know, and you don't want to learn any costly mistakes before that. But let's talk a little bit about Intech. Tell me about the company and services you provide.
Well, like you said, we were founded in 1991 in San Antonio, Texas, by my father-in-law. We've now grown to a network of 9 offices. We're all over Texas: Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, Plano, Beaumont. We also have an office in Denver, Colorado, an office in Louisiana. We're soon going to have an office in California, and we also have an office in Chennai, India.
In India?
We do a lot of outsourcing and stuff out there.
It's hard to commute there every day, isn't it?
Well, we do it.
How many staff members does it take to run all those offices?
We have a staff of, I want to say, almost 200 people if you count all the offices together.
Wow.
In Houston, we have about 11 of them.
And that's testers and that's processors?
We have a staff of engineers, geologists, office personnel, drillers, field technicians, lab technicians.
And typically, who are your customers? Are they builders? Are they developers? Individuals? Who are your customers?
We work in commercial and residential construction. We work with custom home builders, more the mass home builders that build tract homes and stuff like that. We work with architects, building designers, structural engineers, civil engineers. We work with a lot of developers and construction companies also.
Have you done work in Magnolia Bend?
We have not done work in Magnolia Bend. Magnolia Bend is just getting started, so hopefully we will do some of the soil testing out there.
I bet Heidi can introduce you to a lot of people.
I'm sure she can.
Absolutely.
All right, well, tell me that question that I came up with is, why can't someone just use a soil sample from next door? Is it not the same soil?
We get that asked all the time by a lot of individuals that kind of are building their home on their own, and they decide, they ask questions like, well, my neighbor used y'all a couple years ago. Can I just not use that and give it to my structural engineer? He can, design my foundation with that. Well, honestly, first of all, the insurance is not going to cover that if that were the case. And secondly, any reputable structural engineer would require a separate one for each property, whether it's a home, an office building, a church, a mini storage. Soil is very different throughout. Even one property can be very different. So.
Even lot to lot.
To lot. And it's such a minimal cost in the beginning that we really recommend you doing it. In the future, it could come out to be much more expensive if you didn't do it and the foundation was not designed properly.
Now, typically, a test involves a series of holes. Obviously, you dig down. How does that work?
Well, for the core sampling part of what we do, yes, we go out, we have drilling rigs, all different sizes, and we drill down, we core sample to different depths, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 feet and deeper. And we pull samples at all the different all the different depths. We test that in our lab, and we produce a report that basically gives the structural engineer foundation recommendations, how that area is going to be in the future, and how to design your foundation.
What are you looking for in that soil? Like what would be an area of concern if I bought a lot and I wanted to build a home? What would be an area of concern for me about a soil sample?
We basically look at the PI, the clay, and
PI
the
is a
plasticity index.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the values we look for. We also look for clay and sand. Here in Houston, we have a lot of clay and we have a lot of sand. When you go further into the hill country, you find a lot of rock and stuff below. There's also two types of foundations that are pretty common here. The most common one is the post-tension slab-on-ground foundation. That is a foundation, they design it pretty thin, where it is designed to change as the soil shrinks and swells below it. We have a lot of shrinking and swelling soil here in Houston. The other type of foundation is the conventional reinforced slab-on-ground.
What are some of the notable developments, residential or commercial, in the Houston area you've worked with?
We've done, back to what Heidi was talking about country estates, we've done many country estates on Huntsville, Willis, Belleville, LaGrange, Weimar, Rocheron, and beyond. That is such a trend that we've been seeing lately. A lot of our work is north of Houston, the Woodlands, Spring, Conroe, and that area is just growing out there. And there are a lot of country estates, a lot of second homes. Nowadays in Houston, the suburbs are just growing so much that people just want to be a little bit more out, a little bit more out, a little bit more out. So it's constantly growing. But one subdivision that I'm really excited about that is kind of near Katy, it's near Cypress area in Katy, is Bridgeland subdivision, and it's a huge development out there. It is 11,400 acres. They're planning on building about 21,000 new homes out there. So they're going to have about 65,000 residences, or
wow.
People living there, excuse me.
I think we've done a profile on Real Estate Executive on Bridgeland.
Oh,
so
it's beautiful. The focus on that is a lot of nature. They have a lot of parks, trails, not just a bunch of homes. So it's really neat. It's beautiful. It's just south of 290.
Just kind of a wrap up, in your opinion, why are your services so important to consumers and builders?
Our services are important because it really shows your structural engineer exactly what that soil is how it's gonna react in the future, and it really will get your foundation, built according to the structure you're gonna build on there.
Excellent.
And we also do construction materials testing, like concrete, asphalt, different soil, compaction testing.
Those are I saw some soaking in
some concrete soaking. Yes, we have. That's
soaking.
Concrete. We test concrete and then we compress it, see how much weight it'll actually hold.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Shivani, tell me how we would get in touch with you. How would a builder or consumer get a hold of you?
Okay. Our number is 281-371-3330. We are located here in Katy, actually, but we service all of Houston, and our website is intectesting.com, INTEC testing.com.
And how would somebody get a hold of you or Chuck? Cell phones?
I can give you my cell phone number. It's 832-473-2859.
Excellent. Well, we thank you for being on the show. Hope to have you back again and maybe on our luxury home show some Saturday.
Thank you.
And a great job, great information. And what I love about the show is the diversification of information we provide every week. It's a little different. We'll be right back with more great information on Houston Real Estate Today. If you missed any part of this, you can go to HoustonRealEstateToday.com and watch the Google videos. And I'm the guy in the purple shirt. We'll be back with more information in just a moment.